on here for Seconds Out with the one and only Shakan Pitters. Shakan, real good to see you, real good to speak to you again. How are you feeling heading towards what could be and should be a real good year for you?
Yeah, positive, good, new year, obviously we've all had time to reflect the year and kind of things and just come into it with new goals. Not that my goals have ever changed. Want titles, want big fights, but, just come into it with a strong mindset.
Reflecting on 2023, had a couple of fights. Could have been a lot more for you though had things gone your way. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, look, the way our boxing is right now, I think Joshua's the only one who fought 3 times last year. It's in the UK anyway. It's I don't know why these fights seem difficult. From my end as a fighter, it's not difficult to make them. As long as it makes sense to my path and promoters and that, I'm putting up the right money. I got no problem with it, with anyone in the UK scene and whatever scene. So down to be in the ring with any of them as long as it makes sense on my journey.
What's the target then for this year? Will you have a fight out early and then look for those type of fights, those big nights that you're looking for?
Yeah, I want them big fights. I mean, I'll look to hopefully be out early this year. Few shows coming in Birmingham, probably majority of the channels. So I look to be on one of them, if not even 2 of them, as early as next year. So 2 early next year or something, and then could finish off with another 2 down the line. I'd fight as often as I can, as long as I said, I'm willing to swing it in with these fighters and be in these big domestic fights, what the UK audience are wanting. And a lot of boxing fans are wanting. I think it is that time, it's that era. We've got a good, strong division. Why not mix it up?
No, you're right there in terms of light heavyweight division, very much thriving. You've made no bones about, look, you're not looking to just be thrown in as the B-side. You want that backing, you want that opportunity, because that's when you really thrive. That's when you really kind of show the best of you. Do you feel that you can get that opportunity this year where a promoter kind of really pushes you as that side of the equation there, as opposed to just being an opponent?
Yeah, I mean, look, promoters are good to have, but at the end of the day, at the same time, it's your job to do the job in the square circle. So I'm not worried about any side, B side, A side, whatever it is. For me, it's about just being in the ring with the right fights for me, which for me, what makes sense, the people are high up in the rankings, they're the fights I want to got, and the people with the belts, whether that's in the UK, whether that's out of the UK, whoever got the belts, that's what I want. And whoever ain't got the belts, if they can make the belts with them, then that's who I want as well. But I want good fights. I want to be in these fights, pushing myself and, being in a strong camp. And with all that in mind, no doubt, regardless of anything, I always back myself, and I believe that I'll come on top with any of these fighters.
If you could make the fight next that you'd want, who would it be?
Anyone above me in the rankings, anyone. As I say, early last year I was meant to have Linden before he obviously had the Bibble fight. That would be a good fight to make for the UK domestic scene. I respect him as a fighter, good fighter and all that, but I believe, like I said, any of him and any of them I've got the beating on. But it makes sense, I understand. He got the Bibble opportunity, and I think that's an opportunity what any of us in the light heavyweights, well, some of us or whatever, would have took, and I would have obviously taken that myself. So it makes career sense, business sense for him why he done that. But obviously we had a fight locked in, and then that fight came up. But no, it's no malice. It's just in there. I want to be in there fighting these guys, and I want titles. And whoever's got the titles and who leads me to the titles or is in my way, that's what I want.
That's a fight that's still a very exciting fight. You and Linden there. Would you take that? And where did you feel that you had those advantages against Linden when that fight was materialising?
Just being me. I believe my advantage is just being me on any of these fighters in the light heavyweight division. I'm not shying away from any of them. Like, at the end of the day, the names I want, the people who just say, them ones who feel like, that'll be a fight where the odds are more in his favour. I like that fight. I like to prove people wrong anyway. So I don't mind. That, for me, would be a good fight. It still makes sense. Any of the people in the UK rankings, it makes sense. Like I said, the division's thriving, man. Promoters just got to put their hands in their pockets, make these fights, and give us correct notice, and we're all on eat a fair, even playing field with it. Like, if you lose or win to the better man, or you beat the better man, shake hands, you move on.
Was it a bit of a difficult watch watching that fight, thinking, that could have been me?
Nah, I don't. To be honest, I don't envy any of the fighters. I was happy for him that he got that fight. I actually won, like, as a UK boxer myself, although he's in my division, and anyone who's in my division, the odds, and anyone when they've fought for these titles, anyone who past and present who are fighting for titles, I always wish them the best, especially UK fighters. I always want them to go on and win. providing I'm not in the ring. So I'd be a sly hater not wanting him to win or to envy his position. I was genuinely happy for him, and I understand it. That's why I'm not out here baiting anyone saying, this and that. I know he's a fighting person in fight. So it just made sense to go down that avenue. You know, he's worked hard to get in that position, and, you know, good on him for that. Like I said, I've no malice with anyone in the light heavyweight division. It's business at the end of the day, and our business is handled with our fists, so that's just how it is.
I spoke to Linden in the aftermath of the fight, and it looked like maybe a bit of a missed opportunity for him in that 8th round when he seemed to hurt Bivol with a body shot. Didn't really pounce on it. Now, he said he had his reasons in terms of injuries heading into the fight, and look, he didn't have a choice. He had to take the fight because of what was on offer there. But do you feel maybe he might have missed an opportunity there in that moment?
Possibly. You know, I'm sure he'll probably watch it back, and like all us fighters do, we look back and we think what we could have done better and things. But I feel like those kind of opportunities don't come around a lot. So it's like, you kind of just go out, you know what I mean? You go out on it, and it is what it is, like let or go. But they've got their reasons. Him and his team's got his reasons, and, you know, that's up to them to evaluate and look back on what they could have done. It's not for me to reflect his career. I'm here reflecting mine and focusing on my journey.
Huge fight coming up this weekend in form of Artur Beterbiev versus Callum Smith there. A lot of people are backing Callum Smith here to get the victory, saying that Beterbiev showing signs of slowing, and this is the opportunity now for someone to really get him. Have you seen those signs of slowing? Do you feel like Callum Smith can capitalise upon that?
Again, like, I've not really watched Beterbiev like that. Kind of tunnel vision than mine, but I know he's a good fighter. Callum Smith's a good fighter as well. You know what Beterbiev brings? He's, you know, he's knocked out obviously all of his opponents, so you know he's got power. He's a come forward fighter. Callum could be a very skilled boxer, a good boxer at times. He's got power himself as well, especially his check hook kind of thing. So, and Bivol's been caught. I mean, Beterbiev's been caught a couple of times himself in fights and been put down by Callum Johnson, who also can punch as well. So, you know, it's an interesting fight. It's a very interesting fight. I think probably only him and his team, you know how they are. I know Buddy McGurk's a decent coach himself, and I'm sure they're up for the job. Again, he's another fighter, UK fighter. I wish the best in it, and, you know, hope that he can go on and relinquish these bouts from him, because then it opens the scheme of the light heavyweight scene. And obviously these are bouts that I hope to fight for myself, don't matter who it is.
I forgot to ask you last time, and I know it'll be a while back now, but you did some training with Sugar Hill Stewart, am I right? How do you feel that brought you on, and what did you take from that experience? It's
just, you know what it is for me, when I go away, so I went away to Miami, see family as well as train out there. I just like to gain knowledge elsewhere, and things like that. So when I was out there, you know, I went to that gym, and it was good. Like, I learned a few things from them, as well as when I've traveled a lot of places. I'm the kind of person where I always pack my holiday stuff or whatever. My hand luggage is always full of my boxing equipment, because I just never know what gym I'm gonna, you know, go to near there. And I always research it before I go out, because it's good to gain knowledge in different gyms and different places, because boxing, that sport, you never stop learning. Also, there's also good sparring around the world with other fighters and things like that, which I managed to get around in Miami, and with all kind of different fighters out there. But, you know, Sugar's a respected coach. You know, it's someone where, like, you know, his dad, obviously his late dad, Emmanuel Stewart, was a very respected coach himself and trainer. And obviously trained a boxer who I look up to, Thomas Hearn. So I'd be stupid not to try and reach out and go out there, because I know his knowledge is similar whereabouts. They've got that crunk style. So it was good going out there. I learned a lot from him. You know, they've always welcomed me out there. He said whenever I want to come out there, kind of thing, then I'm welcome to go. So extremely grateful for it, definitely.
Managed to improve the power.
Yeah, my power's always there. You know, I feel like being critical of myself, and I'll be honest, I think my power is there. But it's sometimes the finish I could have been better on. But that's something where we've worked on now, you know, when I've got them hurt, to be a better finisher. Because a lot of my fights, I do have them hurt. And I know I've got power. I don't have to question my power. That's why when these commentators are talking like that, like, they're not in the ring with me to feel it. And a lot of my opponents after do know that and say that. It's just probably when I do have them hurt, finishing better. But I've worked on that.
At the top of the boxing tree, two fighters with a lot of power in the form of Anthony Joshua and Francis Ngannou fighting off. That's been announced now. You're picking and you're backing boxing here in the form of Anthony Joshua to beat Ngannou off the back of two good performances. One from Ngannou in his fight with Fury, and one from Joshua in the way he dismantled Wallin.
Yeah, I think Joshua just. I think Joshua, if he does get him out there, it's going to be late. But I think you'll see a more cautious performance from him, just like when he fought Andy Ruiz for the second time, was it the rematch? I think he's just going to box him. The thing is, Ngannou's got that power. He ain't got the footwork like Joshua. So I think Joshua will establish and use his long reach, his jab. He'll go back to the basics of boxing. And then possibly in the later rounds when Ngannou tries to gamble and possibly throw a Superman punch again, he's going to get caught with that backhand from Joshua. But I'd say about anything after round 9, Joshua may stop him. But I think he just generally, he's going to box him. I wouldn't be surprised at a decision. He don't need to take any risks. He's the boxer. All the pressure's on Joshua because he's the boxer. So it's just going to be like, you're just going to give him a boxer. I think he'll just box him, keep it long and box him. He ain't going to trade with him because he knows he can hit. And obviously, what has he got the Guinness World Record for the hardest punch, something like that. So I think he'll just go out there and just give him a boxing lesson, use the basics, be patient. And when he does probably lunge in or anything, then he'll catch him. It'll hurt him.
Someone told me that with your training with Stuart now, you're a close second for that record. For the hardest punching in boxing right now. Joke didn't quite land there, did it, Shaq? But that's my bad. But will I be seeing you in attendance at ringside for Buatsi Azeez as well?
Yeah, I'll be there. Obviously, Dan, former opponent, Buatsi, shared rings, shared rounds. Like I respect both fighters, but these are fights what interest me in it. The UK division, as I said, is thriving. There's many fights out there to be made, and yeah, I'll be there, man. It's a good fight to watch as a neutral. And yeah, I'll see what happens, you know what I mean? See what's good there. Possibly, I could be in there with any of them.
Good talker, more importantly, good boxer. Looking forward to seeing you in big fights this year. Thanks for speaking to Seconds Out.
Appreciate it.
Good.